can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
Ready, John? Yeah.
Tonight is a fiery hell. Tomorrow seems so far away. In the pit of darkness, where I choose to stay. My mind forever enveloped. Thoughts clouded, unclear. Heaviness weighs me down. The way out, filled with fear. Too weak to break. My mind consumed. Too strong to change the darkness abused. The darkness abused. My thoughts like ghosts keep chasing my mind, so weakened by regret. Travel too far to return. The sadness holds me back. Doubt clouds my blind eyes. The way too much, too weak to break. My mind consumed, unsurviving, consumed. Too strong to change the darkness of you. The darkness of you. The darkness of you. Praying for morning to come. Darkness overwhelms my heart. Dredging up past happiness, hoping it will mean peace. My mind tries to resist. Depression weighs me down. Dawn arrives just in time. Too weak to break. My mind consumed. Too strong to change the darkness I use. The darkness I use. Another day I live. Another day I'm alive.
Get out of the way you came. Go to the Umeda station.
I'll stay.
Don't insult my gift to you. And John, do me a small courtesy. できるだけ多く殺してってくれ。
Boss. Dos! How are you doing out there? Welcome to the Monkey Show. Is it the Monkey Show? Tim? I'm
Yeah, it says
confused.
right there, The Monkey Show.
It is the Monkey
2026.
Show. Right. Today, of course, we have our co-host, Tim Arson of Melvins.
Yes. Yes, of the Melvins.
Of the
Your
Melvins.
next Todd McFarlane. No.
Your current Todd McFarlane, I should say, right?
Yes. I like Elasmat, who's the current Eric Larson.
Of course. And today, as our guest, we have, of course, my good artist friend, Tomas. And we're currently looking at INCREDI-GIRL number 2, which is 100% funded. In 2 days' time, it was funded 100%. That was the amount we were putting it down for. And we've got 5 backers, and it funded 100%. So the link's in the chat. If you want to support that, get to it. Thank you so much for everyone who supported already. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to put in the single link so it makes it easier. Thank you so much for everyone that supported that. I really appreciate it. This is the second book in the series of 6 books. And of course, this book is completely finished and ready to print. You can see all the artwork, all the covers. I'm doing it wrong?
You're supposed to have it 5 years late, man.
What? Or not even have it done at all?
Yeah.
Like,
You're supposed to have just bits and pieces of pages, but never completely done.
And never actually deliver at all, even after 8 years?
Yep. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You need to rethink your shit a little bit, man.
But, well, after issue 1 came out, I was like, we need to change the way we do things, right? Which is finish everything and then put it out. And so that's what we're doing. Like with this one, all full color kids book. I say kids book, but it's for anybody can read it, so it's not dumbed down or anything. And I was just looking at this puppy here. The reason we put this puppy in, because my publisher's daughter at the time said, oh, it'd be cool if she had a puppy. And I went like, oh, okay, let's give her a puppy. So I put a puppy in, and it was like, she said, well, can you give her a puppy? And we didn't put in issue 1, but issue 2, I was able to bring it in and, put it out there and say, oh, now she's got a puppy.
So let me get this straight. You're giving them what they paid for.
Right. Exactly.
Crazy enough to work.
Hopefully. Now, I've just noticed the screen on our mobile. Apologies, guys. I was trying to fix it while the music was playing, but I noticed that it's all over the place on the mobile. I don't know why it does that, and I apologize for that if you're watching on a mobile. Sorry for that, but I tried to fix it. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys on that screen, but I tried my best. So now, we tried really hard to make sure that everything was finished beforehand. Like, we had a bit of a delay. I wanted to make sure everything was perfect before we put it out. So we waited and waited. And now, which means that, like, by the time we put issue 2 out, we're ready to put out, also launched today, Tomas's book, right? Our manga book. And let me find it on the screen. Every time you got to change between screens. So I understand Lord Raptor Jesus when he kicks Pan all the time on his actually that's not even it. That's actually me asking Grok. You got to pay your dues. What's that song from AC/DC? And Grok goes, well, it's for those about to rock. We salute you. And I haven't had that song, Tim, probably in a decade or 2. Yet my brain remembers lyrics, bro.
Well, I mean, most AC/DC songs are pretty much the same song.
Well, and it's the lyrics are good though. I mean, like, that's the thing about
they are catchy.
They're catchy. It's good old rock and roll, man. You can't go wrong with an AC/DC song, right?
You need to
It's-
hear Jim Brewer doing his impression of AC/DC. It's amazing.
Oh, that's a comedian, right? Jim Brewer.
Yeah, he does. He was so good that they invited him on stage.
Okay, let me see if I can find that as we build up to having. There we go. It actually comes up second when you put in Jim Brewer's Jim Brewer's name. So, and talking about AC/DC, right? Wasn't actually going to talk about AC/DC, but talking about AC/DC, I was a huge fan. Like in the 80s, right? In the mid 80s when I got into metal, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, I was going to say Jimmy Page, but Jimi Hendrix, and so much more, right? I used to love, I mean, like metal is my go-to for happiness, right? My happy place, as is art. So I had a friend about, in town, right? We lived just outside on the outskirts of town. You could kind of class us as in town, but like 100 meters out of town. So our little place in Morawa, this is back in like mid 80s, right? A friend of mine called Dennis, who actually, if I remember right, he passed away a while back, and he had all the I think he had all the Iron Maiden and AC/DC and ZZ Top. Oh no, he didn't have the Iron Maiden. He had the AC/DC and ZZ Top albums, right? And so what I would do, I'd take over my blank cassette and I'll record from his tape onto my tape, and now we each have tapes of it. But then I would start getting money, and then I'd be able to buy them myself, and then, I would have my own copies of those tapes. So up till about Thunderstruck, I think that's the last album that I actually bought from them, which was in like 1990s. And I had everything from AC/DC and Iron Maiden up to that point. Everything.
I think
So-
ZZ Top was my first tape I actually had.
Right. Which one though? Was it the one with the legs song?
It was the Greatest album. I had my dad record it. I think I was
Right.
in middle school at the time, so I kind of didn't really understand the lyrics as much as I do now.
Just want to say welcome again to everyone that's watching, and wherever you're watching from, Twitter, X, also if you come across from Facebook, thank you so much, appreciate it. If you are on Facebook, and you can follow us on NZ Comic. We had I lost my previous business accounts and everything because I was being silly on on the Facebook, and I didn't have a backup to open all those accounts, so we lost everything. Like about 7 years of history of all our convention items, videos, everything, and also from our comic book. So we actually basically at this moment are setting up from scratch in the last 6 months or so. So if you're able to, please follow us there. You'll see all the latest artwork, things that we're working on, links, new stuff, early work in progress stuff. So thank you so much. And before we continue, I'm going to play this video from Jim Brewer that Tim suggested.
I was always into hard rock growing up, man. I loved 80s metal. Oh. How did I not? Rob Halford of Judas Priest, boy. He come out with his leather pants on and just scream.
Oh yeah, I also had Judas Priest albums. I was given them. So I was also a fan of Judas Priest.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the most fun band I've ever seen is AC/DC. If you've never seen AC/DC, go see them. The guys are 50 years old. Yeah, Larry, give me a little, just like a, yeah. AC/DC, first of all, the guys are 50. and none of them are above like 3 feet high. Angus Young for an hour and a half. But the best is Brian Johnson. He comes out. They can take any song. They all sound the same. It's always the same concert, but it rocks. They can take the Hokey Pokey and tear it up. They gotta come out like, put your left foot in. Put your left foot out. Put your left foot in. Can you shake it? Shake it. Shake it all about doing the hokey pokey. And they always have a breakdown like this. This looks like a hokey pokey crowd. You guys want to do the hokey pokey? Repeat after me. You ready? You ready? You ready? Hokey pokey! You can never understand a word he says, but it sounds so awesome. All you hear him is say, "You ready?" We're gonna say, keep your hands covered, and then get shut. Press around. You ready? Repeat after me. 1, 2, 3. Hokey pokey.
I don't think I could play any more of that because old Comedy Central will come back and go strike us down for
Yeah. But you see what I mean, though?
Oh, yeah,
that was so good.
It was like Brian Johnson and also Angus Young, man. In his
it makes it sound really easy to scream that high. So I don't know how he can scream that high.
It hurts though. That sounds like it hurts though.
You mean like actually singing that way?
Yes. Yeah. It sounds painful if you think about it.
I think it's his natural voice. I think I saw a little doco on about how they actually had when they found Brian. It was like let me just find it because it was only recently I was watching it because they're talking about how they saw this guy at the pub and yeah, so Brian himself was talking about it, but this is different. So because Bon Scott actually passed away, right? And
he died in his car or something.
Yeah, I think it was an accident like that. But and Bon, everybody loved the sound of Bon's voice, and to get someone to replace that, it was crazy because you just couldn't, right? Because it's just an iconic voice, but then Brian comes in, and you still think it's like Brian's been the original singer forever because he's so iconic in that. And but you always think about, when you really think about AC/DC, you always think about Bon Scott, but it's Brian Johnson all this time, right? Since the 80s, for the past 40 friggin' plus years, it's always been Brian Johnson. Now, I think it was first meeting or something like that. They said when they first met him. I can't remember. It's like, gosh. Oh, here's a bit. Right. I don't know how we got onto ACDs, but let's carry on with this. Something a bit more, showing my age. So this is first interview with ABC News. I guess that's in Aussie. Is it Aussie? Yeah, ABC News Aussie, right? So it's talking about like how he first joined it, and I just noticed when I was just heard a bit of it that you could tell it's Australian because the sound of the voice of the reporter.
Of meeting Bon in the mid-70s with Fraternity when they played with your band.
Yeah, that was in Torquay, Bennett. It was, we had driven down from Newcastle, and it was a long way. It's probably about...
So if you notice, there's not an Aussie accent, right? And that's what I was saying earlier, Tim, that like that's his natural voice, because he doesn't actually have a Aussie accent. Aussies speak through their nose, so he's got like an Irish accent. I don't know how that happened or where he's from, but like, yeah,
350 miles, maybe more, and we were just absolutely tight. In fact, we were late for the gig, and we got there, and I remember the first thing we saw was this huge American bus, which we hadn't seen anything like.
Anyway, I think I'll the link's there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. But let's get back to what we're supposed to be talking about today, because I think I'm going to get segued all the way back to the 1980s with my reminiscing. So today, yeah, I'll just be going down this like memory downward spiral, right?
What have I done?
Yeah, and I'm going to be like, wait, 3 hours later, I'll be like still talking about AC/DC. Anyway, folks, ladies, gentlemen, people all around the world, welcome to the Monkey Show. And today we're going to launch the Kickstarter for Tomas and I's The Tortoise #1 manga, a supernatural horror tale about a young lesbian couple who travel to Indosia in search of an indigenous tribe's turtle legend, right? Everything for this project is completed. And let me see how we're gonna. Is it if I do this, then it'll take me to it? Actually, why is hold on. What I should do is actually launch it. Shall we launch it, Tomas? Shall we just go ahead and launch this?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because otherwise we won't think. Oh, and by the way, guys, our INCREDI-GIRL link at the bottom of the screen, that's 100% funded already. So I'm quite excited for that, and I'm hoping that you guys will support us to fund this 100% as well. Now, basics. Get this out, and then we'll start talking with Tomas about creating this work. Where are we? Promotion. Am I ready to launch? Active, exit, view. Where do we go? I had it easier the other day. I was like, you just go there and press that and it's launched. Yes, I'm ready to launch. There we go. And we're launched. Are we launched? Are you going to take us there? Yes, congratulations. Your project is live. You got 29 days. And we're good to go. And we should have like a countdown thing, right, for these things. Because, I mean, something like this.
What?
Just something crazy to just say, yeah, we're out here. Now, I am going to go through this, and Tomas, it's your turn to start talking. I'll take a break. And tell us about working on this project, bud.
Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm Thomas. like Aru introduced me before. I'm the main artist in the manga The Tortoise, and well, working in this project was really interesting because even though I was doing some art before, maybe some aimless art, maybe illustrations or a single uh, the comic page, working in a sequential art with a full story was like a really good experience for me, and also really interesting how maybe the process of changing the results or trying to find the best way to make the best work in a less stressful way is also really amazing, like how it comes to appear while working. And the thing is, like, I learned a lot of things about myself making this comic, and also a lot of things of working with someone else. In this case, you are like a writer and an editor, and it was really amazing to work on this. And I'm really happy to be part of this and put some grain of salt in this big how do you call it, this big balance of things to make something right.
Hmm. So, I mean, for those people who don't know, you're actually from, let me get this right, Brazil or Argentina? Because I always get it wrong.
Argentina, remember the World
Okay.
Cup. We are winning the World Cup.
Oh, are you? Are you guys going to take the cup? You think you're going to take the cup?
Yeah.
Man, everybody's going to be so angry with you guys.
Wait, is Norway still in it?
No, it's. I think England beat Norway.
Damn it.
All right, so over here now, I'm just going to show you the actual pages for the comic book that's already finished, right? So it's better to see it all in its glory right here. And we've got this actually on, and I always share this because I want you guys to know that we actually have this on Webtoons, and you guys can read it, well, majority of it, because, you know, some of the pages aren't allowed on Webtoons due to its rating. And so, because of its content, right? Because Webtoons has certain TOS that you can't have on there. So anything kind of like risque, you know, skin, whatever, they're not, you know, they're not keen on that. So this series on Webtoons is rated R18, you know, 18 plus. It gives you reasons why. So it's about two young ladies in their 20s. Amber and her fiance, you know, Amber has got a pet turtle, and, you know, she goes through some emotional stuff and, you know, ends up studying, I think, marine biology and everything's got to, you know, you find everything about her. So you can go across and, you know, read the manga on Webtoons and follow it along and, you know, suss out if this is for you, right? Because I don't want people to come and go, oh, you bait and switched us on this. I thought it was this. No, this is a mature reader comic book about, it's a slow burn horror movie. Just think of it that way. I wanted to write this like a slow burn horror movie, and that's what it is, right? So you can go check it out for yourself to see if this is what, you know, if this is what, you know, you want to read, because I think it's important to let people know beforehand what they're getting into, right? So this is a manga, so it reads right to left on purpose, right? It's not that, oh, it's flipped out, it's like error. No, it's on purpose. So you'll see, like, on the right side, you'll have like the narration, the titles, the dialogue starting from the right side, right? And so on. So you can go across here and read it on Webtoons, apart from the certain couple pages that they won't allow, right? And the other thing about it, I want to just say about Webtoons is that because I had to zoom in to get all the proper, you know, images ready for Webtoons, it gets a bit pixelated because of the quality drops because of Webtoons. As you can see, the lettering's perfect, right? But the art drops because of Webtoons itself, not the setup, right? Being able to read on your mobile. But so it's all there. We've got about, you know, 2,779 people have looked at this. 49 legit followers, and thank you, you awesome followers. I'm going to show you guys issue 2. Will be coming out soon across this month as we release it on Webtoons, because I want to have everybody read, get issue 1 in their ready, finished, and then be able to get to issue 2. So back to this, Tomas. Yeah, so from Argentina. Tell folks about a bit more about yourself, bud.
Okay, well, actually, I'm 35. I had a small background in manga art. While in high school, I was also working as I was almost like trying to make some commissions, training in fine arts also, and in the training the basics and trying to improve my style, trying to improve the all the foundations to make better art in each page. I have my wife with me. I have a cat in my house also, a small cat called Aramis.
So you finally got married. When did you get married? Because you guys...
Not yet, but I just call her my wife because it's like she's the partner of my life. So, because I was talked to her so many times and introducing her like my girlfriend is I say to her, it sounds like a teenage. Oh, she's my girlfriend. I sound like a teenager. Yeah. No, she's my wife. So
yeah,
and also sorry. Continue.
Now.
What, Tim?
I said, might as well get in the habit of calling her your wife now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I mean, I expected. That's why I was excited, because I expected, Tomas to be married by now, because he's traveled across the world with his wife, right, with his fiance, and so now they've been to Japan, been to Europe, and now it's time to settle down and put the roots down, as they say, right, and then start the family. So I'm quite excited for you, man. It's cool. I'm glad that you're heading that way. So
small steps each day.
Yeah. So I mean, like, having traveled with your with your fiance and stuff, and now you've learned what she's like outside of home and everything. So it's a good experience as when you're young, right? You're 30. You just said you're 35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a whole life ahead of you, and family and everything. I'm glad for you, man. Excited for you. It's awesome. Now, so how brothers, sisters, family,
Yeah, I have one older brother called Lucas. He doesn't follow arts. He's more like a football fan.
Right.
He's more like the normal guy. Well, my parents, my dad, it's a doctor. My mom is a retired nurse. What else? Well, I'm from the moment right now I'm on holidays, but I went back to university, to school.
Right.
And right now I'm following I'm studying for being a high school teacher, mostly in history.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's cool, because that means you got a legit job that's going to keep you paid while you work on what you love, right? Which is doing manga art. And as you said, this is your first project as a comic book artist, as a manga artist.
Exactly. Yeah, but my main goal is trying to use that the studies of as a teacher in history to make comics. Also, I want to fusion to use those two ways and make one great kind of job.
That's awesome, man. And I think that's a lot of things that, like, a lot of people who don't have that side the actual daily job, because having a daily job actually gets you to a routine. Because I remember when I was studying, I would go and do my film work, right? I would go do my film study, and then after school, I would go straight into work, and then when I'd get home, I was married at the time, and I'd still take out my laptop and start writing stories, right? I'd start writing scripts for the next TV show that I was I want to create and stuff, and ideas for the next project. But like when you don't have that, when you all you do is just art all day, I don't think you build into yourself to have a regular sort of like daily routine. And I think having a job gives you a daily routine and makes you really appreciate the time you have spare to actually start creating work. Even when I was like working full time, I'd like take my because I used to do shift work, so I'd work from Tuesday till Saturday, and then Sunday I'd spend with my my wife, and then on Monday I'd just sit in front of my laptop on my day off and start working, just typing away, or at that time I was using actually a mouse to draw comics, right? Using a mouse to draw comics on Photoshop or something like that, or Illustrator. And I think having a job is good because it gives you routine. I mean, both Tim and I've noticed people who don't have a job and the only thing they have is YouTube and comics. They don't have a routine, and so they never actually get things done. And I've noticed that people who actually have a job and also do comics actually do a lot more work and are on time with their projects, So I'm glad for you, man. Now, this experience, with having journeyed, been over to Japan and over to Europe and visited all these freaking amazing places, historically known for comic books and stuff, like, with the not particularly with Geiger, but like the horror side of things, because there is, like, with this comic book, there is a lot of horror to come, right? And with this manga, I should say, or Western manga, right, to come, there is bits of this where we slowly go into some horrible things, as shown early on in issue 1 on this page here in page 29. This is a 40-page comic book, by the way, guys, where I wanted to give everybody a taste of what's to come in the future, right, for this comic book. Because you read the first issue, there's nothing in it about it being about horror, and then you go, well, what's it got to do with horror and supernatural? There's nothing shown in this. And then I thought, like, well, you know what? Let's just chuck a page in here to show you what's about to come. And this is one of the pages that if you read the Webtoon, if you go to Webtoons, it doesn't appear on there because they don't want to have that on there, right, at Webtoons. And there are a couple more pages in here that isn't available on Webtoons due to the content. So, but if you do, when you come to this this manga, right, and you can grab, you can go support it right now on because we just launched it on Kickstarter, is that it is a slow burn horror movie style 4-issue comic book. It's not a long story, so I don't want to make it a long it is quite a long what shall I say, a lot of pages of artwork, right, compared to a normal. It's not a 22-page comic book. So all up, this comic book, this manga, I want to just say comic book, right, because I'm going to go backwards and forwards with that and would tongue tie myself. So you got 4, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 31 pages. 31 pages of artwork in this, and then you've got some backup material and, of course, some information about the next pages, but also on how to read this this manga comic book, right? So we put this little page in here, and to show people how to read it. I mean, show readers how to read it, so you don't get lost on how it's going to work, right? Especially since it's not like it is manga and not a standard comic book, even though we printed it out as a comic book. Now, there's also I was going to say like the various we'll go back to this, finish off here and go back to the Kickstarter itself, so you guys can see what's on the Kickstarter, as well as the covers and stuff. So as mentioned here, there's there's no stress of are you going to get it. If this thing funds right, you're definitely going to get it because it's already finished. All the artwork is finished, right? Everything is done on this. All the cover artwork is done. This is Tomas's work. This is the manga cover art. All our comics that we've released, the cover art for cover A is always done by interior artist. So you know what to expect art-wise, right? Because I don't like the whole bait and switch. And also, I mean, like I said, it's already on Webtoons. So it's been on there for a year. We've been slowly, every time we finish the page, I put it up on there, cut it up, so it's so people can read it and follow along. Now, this is a cover by James Hill that I color flatted, but Tomas actually did the tones on it, so I'm quite excited for that. So we got 3 people got to work on that. Also, like I said, 100% everything is done. I love the work that Tomas did on this, like adding our little religious temple up in here. Just the visual, what is it called, like face studies and stuff like that. Like just like if you look at this dude here, right, his face here is just crack up. Like 1 minute he's like he's concentrating really hard and then he freaks out and then he's like wait and then the girl's there. I'm not sure you guys can see that well, but I'll zoom in a bit more as I show you the rest of the comic book. So this is the foil cover, the virgin foil cover. So the only text you have on this is this little bit here. It tells you what cover it is, and this is by James, again colored by myself and Tomas. And this is like, if we reach 1,500, we will release this as a limited to 25 people, a virgin. This is a wraparound cover that we're going to release as a comic book cover for this. So you got a wraparound. So you got Amber on the back and then Kirsten on the front. I think it might, like sometime later, we might put it out as a poster because it's such a really well done, kind of like a selfie, photo shot poster image. Also part of this is you get, you can add on, or you can on the rewards here, it will come with it, depending on what tiers you buy. We've got 4 collectible cards that are part of the Plunge Universe card set that we're building up with every time we release a comic book. On Kickstarter, we put out 4 cards, collectible cards. They're all numbered. And also on the back of it, we'll give you a lot more information about the character that we haven't put into the comic book. So it's kind of like an add-on for the completers, right? The artwork here is done by Tomas again, and then right up at the back is by me, and color flatting by me, and of course finishes by Tomas. So here, this is card number 9. Tells you a bit about who they are, and because this is part of the Plunge universe, she is part of that universe as well as a agent, right? And so the Plunge universe has got like superheroes, vigilantes, supernatural creatures, monsters, demons, magic, and so she's like the only, her and Kirsten's like the part of the human team, right? So you've got regular cover, you got a limited edition cover, tribal cover, and then you've got the limited edition nude wraparound cover C, and a limited edition the Virgin boat foil cover. And then of course you got the stickers here by Tomas, designed by myself. Just a Marlowe, which is like the turtle, and which we they go which is the pet turtle they're going about, right? So I'm getting tongue-tied here. Now, back to Tomas. This being your first project as a I guess as a manga artist, what was it? How did you come in? Because we did have a early version of this comic go out, but how did you rework with that process, having seen that project already out there as a issue 1?
Well, the first idea when you got me the first issue, I remember that I wanted to try to enhance the already made work, trying to make some tribute to the previous artist, but also trying to fix some things to make a better experience. And also, like, I was trying to maybe use it like a guide, because maybe some compositions issues or problems that were already fixed, and I was like, okay, I can use this. Maybe I can move some characters over here and over there, or I can add more detail in this part or some other part. But mostly I was trying to say, okay, half of the work is done by the previous artist, so I want to try to follow what he made and fix it a little bit in the ways that I wanted to fix it. Not how you say it. I didn't want to throw dirt to the previous artist, just saying, oh, okay, this is what I got. I'm gonna try to do it on my way.
Right. So, I mean, we're looking at some early designs for the characters and stuff. Some of them, like some of them you changed a bit, and some of them you left it similar. But I like what you did with it, because it has like some kind of like animated styles to it, to the early designs.
No, yeah, because I was like I was so freaking obsessed with animation, mostly with the last Ninja Turtles movie from Netflix, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to make some animation kind of style. I was trying to practice those things.
Because let me see. Let me just go up and show you guys some more. So you got these cute little kids that we see later on in issue 2, and the early designs for these for the upcoming for issue 2. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was just a fun. It felt like you were having fun with it. Like a lot of times it's just like feels like it's just another work when the artist does it, and then you like when I look at you, it's like you're having fun with the characters and really having enjoying your time with them. Setting up what I think. What for me is like when I try, sometimes I just over describe stuff, and then to have an artist go across and like simplify it, it's so cool, man. Because I'm like, okay, this is got to go here, this got to go here, this got to go here, and then having you come across and go, okay, well, how do I make this come to life? Because I want to show you this part here, right? And this is from issue 2, because we actually are already working on issue 2, and there is a scene here, right? So there's this piece here inside the place that you get, and man, some of the artwork is just like we say like it's animated looking, but it is just brilliant in the way you've set up composition and stuff. Let me just remove this text here. So how do you go about working out how you want to set up how things are, with the composition, like with the perspective here, like you got here. So I'm going to put a line across so I can show people what I mean here. So as you can see here, right, make this a bit thicker. There we go. So there's this. So he becomes the center. So your eyes go straight there. But as you can see here, everything like goes smaller and smaller, right? And it's just so cool, man. How do you go about setting all this up with a page?
Well, I remember that in issue 2, I didn't have the previous pages from the other artists. So by reading the script, I was trying to imagine I have almost like this kind of imagination that it's mostly animated. So I see everything animated. When I read a book, I see like animation or a movie in my head. And when I'm trying to draw something, I just press pause and trying to recreate it the best way that I can. So I know also I was thinking is like a really important part. I don't want to spoil the part. So I said maybe this kind of angle and this kind of composition can work for the emotion of the scene. And also I wanted to make like I want to impress the viewer. I want to put a lot of details or a great perspective, or maybe like foreshortening that I'm not that good at foreshortening right now. But the thing is like, oh, this is going to be a really cool angle for the scene, and I start from there.
Right.
Yeah, maybe in my head I say, oh yes, this is really cool, but when I start to work, I say, oh man, no, this is a mess. This is not easy. Oh my god.
Just overstressing yourself because you're trying to get it right.
Yeah, sometimes I get really stressed when making pages. I'm like, no, this is not good. Everybody's gonna kick me out. No, come on.
I think I do enjoy like seeing these pages, man. Like this is a 2-page spread. Like look at the details on this, and you know, like and this is all hand drawn, right? So you know,
Yeah,
it's
like no texture brush, just like small hatches with the pen.
Now I'm zooming in so you can see it's quite pixelated because I'm zooming in. But like let me remove all the text here so you guys can see what it looks like without all the text on here. So this is another page. Look at this. So this is the food being set out, and when I was doing this, like setting this up, because I come from like Fiji, right? And this is kind of similar to how everything is done in Fiji. Like the food is placed in the middle of the, middle of the people. Everybody sits down and they reach out and, grab it. And so when I was creating this non-existent tribe, I did a lot of studies on various tribes around the world because I wanted to give them their own sort of like indigenous ethnicity, right? But I also wanted to make sure that even though this tribe doesn't exist, and in human, history, they do have similar. The Wabo, that's who the tribe is. Sorry, that they do have similar background as other tribes, because everybody basically, if you look down the historical tree, they all sort of have similar things like body markings, feathered hats, skirts that are made out of grass or leaves, spears and such, and how these, and how they sit around and eat food is very similar to other races around the world, other ethnic indigenous groups around the world. So when I was doing this, I was like, okay, let's go to Africa. Let's look at their homes, how they do their stuff. Let's go to, let's go to South America. Look at how how the Aztecs and Mayans was do stuff. Let's go to the Pacific Islands, and then come back and go, okay, now try to create a race of people, ethnicity of people, indigenous group who who seem real because of this background that I've created. So we create this group called the Wabo, this tribe called the Wabo, that they have their own culture, their belief system, and then we've got our two heroines, right, who go out looking for them to find out what's going on, because they have this because Amber read in a book about this dude named David Kenyon, I think it's David Kenyon, who went out and lived amongst this tribe, right? And then so she finds this book that they have this little myth about turtles, which he just talks about without actually exposing what it's really about, right? Because he hasn't even told. So they go out looking for that. Now, while they go out to do that, they're also going on a Habitat for Humanity type thing, which is part of a religious group that puts out this where are we? which is part of them. Like, did I just go past it? Where's that 2-page? There it is. Where they go and do an overseas trip where they build, for a week they spend time helping build a chief's house, right? Another chief's house in the same area, and that sort of like adds to the whole strife between Amber and Kirsten and their what's it called, like interpreter, right? Tarman, who's the interpreter who they find to come in, take them. Who's this guy here? Yeah, who is this guy here? Who they hire to help them get to this island on his boat, and speak on their behalf, right? Because they don't speak the language, and so there is a lot of like strife that happens with this tribe. So this is when they first meet, the Waboans, I guess you could say that, and straight away, suspicion arises, right? So as you can see here, right, the animations side of how with Tomas coming through on his love for animation and drawing this, like, look at all the different facials, man. I love this. Like, everyone's got a different different expression on their face. Like this dude. What you talking about, Wallace?
Get off my lawn. Like
yeah, it's like, what? Who are you? I do love these expressions, man. They're really cool. Like, if you translated this to a animated, movie or short, they'll look so cool.
Thought about making it animated?
Man, it would be cool to just like get AI to do a little short of it, right? Because that's the easiest way to do it. It's like write a little quick, trailer thing, and then have it like, this is the meeting of, take these characters and show them meeting, our two characters, right? I've noticed that, like, what used to take forever can be really simplified now because of AI. But I mean, none of this work here is done by AI, and none of our comic books or writing is ever done by AI. The only thing I think I use AI for is for promotion, like writing the song, right, and the trailer here, which which I had Sonu turn into a song for me, but I wrote the lyrics myself. So I'm going to play the trailer so you guys can see that, since we're on that. So you guys can see what is being offered properly, I guess, in a way.
A solemn voice calls to her, far beyond the known world. It reaches towards a fearful mind as it reaches in a very depths. What strange things will you see when they open your skin? What strange ideas will you believe when the veil grows thin?
I think I did a bit of a spoiler with the song, but if you listen to the lyrics, you'll see that it's like It's kind of spoilerish.
But it's worth reading it, so people have
Yeah.
to check it out now.
So yeah, so there's a link. Now it is about 11 o'clock in South America, right? What's the time over there in the US, Tim?
It's 8:05.
So not so late for you.
No, not really. I got tomorrow off too, so that also helps.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday for both of you guys tomorrow. It's Sunday for me today, so yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow is the final match of the World Cup. Yay! So
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't launch tomorrow.
yeah.
I don't normally watch what we call. I mean, it's called football to you. Over here, it's called soccer.
Yeah.
I don't. But I did think, and this is about that team in Norway. They have this thing where they do like a rowboat thing, like the longboat.
Robot.
Yeah, somebody would be playing the drums and everybody would be pretending like they're rowing.
Okay.
I thought that was the coolest thing I had ever seen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So let me see if I can find it. So FIFA rowboat.
Yeah, Norway.
Yeah.
It's
Who was Helen?
It's supposed to be like a Viking longboat.
Oh, okay. So it's only 45 seconds. So let's just check that on. Like I because I don't even follow soccer anymore. When I was a kid, I used to play soccer, but I just not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really into sports anymore, but I used to be into sports quite a lot when I was younger, but you know.
Oh, I'll still watch what we call football over here. I watch
the padded
Seahawks.
Yeah, padded rugby, right?
Well, you know why they call it football over here? It's the length of the ball.
It's the length of the ball.
It's a foot, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Hence it's the most obvious thing that no one thinks about it. So I didn't even know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so this is whatever this is supposed to be, the rowboat. Norwegians, eh? This dude here, like, he's making the rounds on the short videos. He's like I saw a little clip of him about his mom telling him that, like, doesn't matter who it is that comes up to you, make sure you sign everything.
Everything.
You sign everything. You take time and sign it.
At a convention asked me if I charge for autographs. I go, no, why would I do that? They're free.
Yeah. And I've had people like I think every time I've met someone, nobody's ever said, oh, okay, that's going to cost you to sign. It's like it's a privilege to have somebody actually want your signature on their product, right? Because you've already bought their item and you're already a fan of them. Just to have a fan is just such a privilege, man. That's why that's why I get so pissed off when crowdfunds people put out, oh, here's a page, here's a cover, and never deliver and take off with people's monies. Up to the millions, man. People like stealing money from people from crowdfunding. To have someone actually buy a product from you to give you and support you, you don't want to let them down, And this is what I like about this dude here, because I saw that video about somebody put a short up saying, oh, this is what his mom told him since he was a little kid, And look at him, he's come all that way, man, and people respect him so much because he's a respectable person. But yeah, I can't remember his name though.
Vikingorn gjelder. Vær!
That's him. That's dude.
Det er livets rotor!
Yeah, this dude, man, like he's like basically gone to the top of the soccer world. It's like um, Ronaldo and all that. He's like the latest, and so much respect, right? Like, dudes had like everybody's like giving him so much respect. Here you go. Wait, so what's his name? Number 9.
That's Haaland.
Haaland. Brute Haaland. Let's see if I can find something on him. So
There's a lot of memes about him. The way he runs like a Viking in Berserker mode. There's a lot of memes with the guy running with a big axe, like.
Where is it? Like I think it's I think where are we? Gosh, I can't darn it. It's like wait, is that his is that his mother or something? Give me 1 second. Oh, he's got 3.29 million subscribers with only 64 videos. Of course, world famous. Where are we? The Dream.
Wayne Rooney, I expect you to go out on a rowing trip.
So did they kick out Brazil? Because I'm not following this, so I have no idea what the FIFA World Cup is at the moment.
I think it was England that they kicked them out.
So England kicked out Brazil. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
I haven't been paying attention either. So I don't.
So who's in the top? So what's the latest top rounds?
Well, today was France, England for the third place. England won the third place, and tomorrow is going to be the final: Argentina, Spain.
Wait, so and France versus England, right? Today. Is it today or no?
It's already passed. It was. It's over. Yeah, it was 6-4. It won England.
Wait, so England won against France?
Yeah.
So England versus. Are you saying England versus Argentina next?
No, it's Spain versus Argentina.
And then who's England versus? Because it's the semi-finals,
No,
right?
it's finished. Yeah, it was the third place. France and England were competing for the third place.
Okay. So who's in second place then? Is that what you're saying with the Argentina?
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna see, but I think it's gonna be Spain is gonna be second place.
Yeah, it's confused me because usually it's like the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the finals, right? So I wonder who's going to make the finals.
Yeah, when they do the quarters, the winner pass to the finals, and the losers from the two matches they dispute the third place, and they dispute the third place before the final match.
Right. Man, when I was a kid, like I remember when Maradona like did the left-handed goal.
Oh yeah, that was the discussion with the match against England, because the English people, they were all we're gonna take back what they do to us in the '86 with the golden hand, and we're gonna beat you up because of that and this and that.
I remember watching it with my dad, and he was like, because I didn't like, because it was in some, I can't remember which country they played in, but the stuff online, like when you're watching TV, right? So not online, there was no internet back then. On the screen was IR something, and I'm like, well, I'm not, supporting that team. I don't even know. That's not England. And my dad was like saying, that's England. Why aren't you supporting England? Because my dad's English. And I'm like, well, why it doesn't say English? It's because it's in a foreign freaking language. And I was like, and he was so upset with me for not supporting England at that. And then he was like angry because Maradona, like the left hand thing. It was classic, man. It was like some of the things. It was like, was it 86 or was it
86?
84?
Yeah, 86.
England, Argentina, right? Was it Argentina? 86. Yeah,
No,
yeah. Here's a hand of God goal. This will go down as like the most shameful thing in soccer history. This is going to be like the most. It's like the Ashes with New Zealand and Australia when they did the underarm bowling in cricket.
The wide men have found little space in this contest. This is not true of Rottier at the moment, but certainly it's been true of the England team. I haven't seen that much of Hodge or Trevor Stephen. And Maradona just walked away from Hoddle then. Valdano, Hodge and Maradona. They're appealing, and the goal is given. At what point was he offside? Or was it a use of the hand that England are complaining about?
It's a crack up. Imagine back then if we had like what we have now, right? All the multi-camera angles, like digital. It was like they can line it up, and you can actually go pixel by pixel, frame by frame shots. Yeah. Whereas back then they didn't have all that. Otherwise, Argentina would never have won. It's crazy. And it was like 2-1. Yeah, it's 2-1. It would have, because of
that. Because they say in today's with today's technology that could be impossible. Yeah. They say it was the in that time it was like the luckiest thing, because we didn't have the technology to see the frame by frame issue.
It's just crazy because, like, man, my dad was so angry, bro. Like, because because New Zealand wasn't in there, right, in the finals, and my dad's English, right? For me, he's from England, so he's always gonna, if New Zealand isn't in the tournament, he's gonna vote for, he's gonna support England. and he was so angry. And here's me, because it's like I'm only 13 years old at this point, you know, because I'm 73 born. So in 86, I'm 13 years old. And Dad's like so angry, and I'm watching his eye raise. And, what, did you not see the hair? You blind ref. That's crazy. And I'm sure, you know, most people understand that if you're a sports fan and your team's getting like, you know, someone's like, should be a penalty and doesn't get the penalty and they win because of that. It's like, here, right? He's offside because you got to be behind the ball, right? You can't go in front of the ball because like the person with the, like, correct me, right? It's been, correct me, Thomas, but like, it's been a long time since I played soccer. So the ball has to be in front of the players. You can't be in front of the ball, right? So they can't pass to you. You can go from behind and run to the ball, but you can't be in front of the ball when it's passed to you. Am I wrong there? Or
Yeah, when you are on offensive, you can't be. You have to be behind the last player from the other team.
right?
If you are pass, for example, if you pass the last teammate of the other team and you receive the ball, that's an offside.
Yeah. So this is not only an offside, but it's also the use of the hand in this. Yeah, I didn't even know this was England, right? This is a weird thing. I didn't even know these were England, and so I was like, I was actually going up. You know, I thought at that time I thought Argentina was England, and so I was like, yeah, go England, go England. And so it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? What's crazy about this is like, it's what, 40 years ago, right? This is actually 40 years ago that this happened, and yet people don't forget because it was a travesty in soccer history. Yeah.
I never knew about it, so.
Well, if you're in the soccer thing, right? Yeah. But like, it was like, carry on.
I can tell you funny stories about what happened back in the 80s when Seattle lost. Dad had to have an hour to himself. He was like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, well, that's what Dad was like with this one. It's like, he was so irate, bro. He just went outside. It's like started doing some gardening, if I remember right. You know, because like just to calm himself down. So what happened with the Seattle Hawks and?
Well, you know, Seattle wasn't really always a winning team back in those days. So when they lost, my dad, I, you know, being a kid, you go up and you want to talk to your dad. He's like, "Don't talk to me," and you'd have to leave him alone for a while so he can process that they lost. But yeah, those were the days.
So that was the highlight for that, right? So I want to show you what happened with New Zealand Aussie cricket underarm bowling incident. So, which is what is it like underarm? Let me find it like under. So they actually, yeah. Let me see if I can find the right one. There it is. So New Zealand, like, there is two things New Zealand's really known for, right? Which is rugby and cricket, right? So back in what year was that? I think it was around 1980s. And this was like, you know, with soccer, you've got this incident, right? With the whole Maradona, Hanegard, you know.
Teams that they pick on them or something. The East Coast hates West Coast teams for some reason.
Yeah. So 40 years ago this year, right? You had this incident for soccer, right? and this is the ultimate, Argentina versus England with the hand. Like, isn't he offside there though? Like, Tomas, that's what I was saying earlier, right? He's offside, right? Because you watch Maradona here. I think where is he? He passes and then he moves, right? Yeah, there. Look, he's offside already, and then the hand comes in. But anyway, you guys can watch this.
He was offside. I think he was offside.
Yeah. So, and that should have been penalty straight away, and that would have equalized later anyway. That would have been allowed, and then England would have gone to 2-1, right? Instead of like losing to them 2-1. So the other thing, like as I mentioned, was the cricket, which forever goes down in history as the underarm incident, right? And this is, I think, I can't remember exactly what year this was, but it says about 1980 here. And I remember watching this with Dad, because we used to always have sports on, because he's always been a sports fan. So whenever there was sports on TV, we'd be watching it. So this is, this is where Aussies cheated against us, and it's always been remembered as like the underarm incident.
Ian Smith is out bowled Trevor Chappell for 4, 8 down for 229, and New Zealand's only hope now is a 6 off the last ball for a tie.
Remember, so they could tie with England, with Australia, if they get a 6 off the last bowl. And so what does Aussie do? They cheat.
On discussion. Well,
so this is us.
It looks to me as if they're going to bowl underarm off the last ball. Rod Marsh is saying no, mate, but I'm sure he's going to bowl an underarm delivery on the last ball and bowl it along the ground and be sure that it has not been hit for 6. The umpires have been told, the batsmen have been told, and this is possibly a little bit disappointing. Let's make sure it is an underarm, but I've got the feeling as an ex-Victorian skipper, they're going to bowl an underarm. We ever believed it. And that's a disappointing finish. Disappointed Brian McKechnie, the crowd boo. And it's all over. After 50 overs, New Zealand 8 for 229.
Yeah. So instead of like bowling the overarm, because that's how you're supposed to bowl overarm, right? But there was no legal thing to say, well, you have to do it overarm. So these guys basically kept like underarm bowling, like just throwing it on, like as you can see here, right? He does it under, just rolls it, and you're not supposed to roll it. Like it's unsportsmanship, right? And this is like the most, huge event for this sport. And we made it to the top. And this is the finals. And so the Aussies cheating their way to win the cup, right? The Ashes. That's why our boy is pissed off. Can you imagine like talk about being poor sportsmanship, right? And you've got the entire world watching, like the British colonies, right? Because I don't expect like Americans watching this, but like the entire English world watching this and going, "What the fuck is this?"
Domestic competition there is a series of rules designed to make the game flow freely and to avoid.
Yeah.
No wonder the New Zealanders are disappointed, and none of them more disappointed than their skipper, Geoffrey Howard. There he is now, talking with the two umpires Cronin and Weezer, and I know exactly the reason he's out there. He's played his cricket over in the United Kingdom with Surrey for a number of years, and the Benson and Hedges domestic competition there is a series of rules designed to make the game flow freely and to avoid incidents such as the one that happened here today. Now, there is the relevant rule on page 2, and it says that no bowler shall be permitted to bowl underarm, and that's what.
Look at that. And they broke the rule, and yet they're allowed to win. So we've hated Aussies over cricket ever since. That's 46 years, Tim. We've hated Aussies in cricket ever since.
It's almost as long as I've been alive.
Yeah. So you got England and Argentina with this FIFA World Cup in '86, and you got 1980 with Aussie and New Zealand, and we've called Aussies cheats ever since because of this incident. So you're not supposed to bowl underarm at all, and this is at the international level. This is like the Ashes Cup, Australia, New Zealand, and England, right? And we get to the top, and these guys cheat to knock us off.
Jeffrey Howard is out there talking to them about. It is not in the Australian Benson Hedges World Series Cup rules because the administrators didn't put it in. I hope they put it in by tomorrow morning. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of criticism for what was a disgraceful performance out there today. The other
thing is, back then you also had sports betting, right? So the fact is that these guys cheated. You got to think like, well, was there some sort of like sports betting involvement there, right? Some illegal, gambling going on to make sure that New Zealand, didn't win.
other thing is that the reason it all happened, in my opinion, is that the captain got his sums wrong. Now, from over number 42, we were saying in the commentary box that he'd made a nonsense of it and that he was going to be in trouble having Lilly bowl the 50th over, which was the ideal thing to do. You must have your best bowler bowl the 50th over. And Lily Marsh and Greg Chappell and Hughes were there counting on their fingers trying to work out who should bowl 46, 7, 8, 9 and 50. As it turned out, the sums were done so badly that Trevor Chappell was left to bowl the 50th over, and that's how it all happened. It was panic stations. And then...
So, Tomas, since you've been watching soccer, right, has there been any similar incidents like this in soccer, FIFA Cup this year?
Well, not so big as the hand of God because of the VAR we have in the present. It cuts all the possibilities of make those kinds of plays. But in this World Cup, I don't think there was like a really bad play.
Yeah,
there was one with Argentina and Morocco. I think it was Morocco or Egypt. I think it was Morocco.
Yeah.
One player he simulated a foul. He dropped on the floor like he was kicked by another player.
Okay.
Or I think it was Egypt, maybe. No, Egypt. They raised a yellow card to an Argentinian player, and after that, the referee wanted to see the replay with the VAR, and they saw frame by frame that the Egyptian player, he dropped before being touched. And the referee took down the yellow card for the Argentinian player, and he said to the Egyptian one, you simulate a foul, so you have a yellow card, and this player had already first yellow card, so he got a red card and kicked out of the game.
So is this one here you're talking about, like 9 days ago?
Yeah, simulation. Yeah, I think it was that.
Okay. Let's have a look at this.
The player was called Embolo. Yeah, that one.
So he basically falls over even before anything happens to him.
Yeah.
This is the thing about I hate the Hollywoodness of soccer. It's become this way now, right? Where like people just like fake injuries and stuff, and
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
Wasn't there a Key and Peele sketch that was making fun of that?
Yeah, a while back.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like, wait, just a touch and like they fall over? It's like, dude, you know how much ill repute you destroy the reputation of soccer when you do that.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that Argentina dude just hit the? Oh, I didn't even touch him, so he moves out of the way. Wait, is this the one where they were complaining about the yellow card? And I always crack up when they do this in soccer. You can't do this in rugby, bro. Because rugby, you get stomped on and everything. There's so much cheating going on in soccer that annoys the hell out of me. These, watching them now. So this is like somebody's put up all the fouls or something. Let me see. So
check out Embolo simulation. Yeah.
Embolo simulation. Oh, Embolo. EM. Is that the one you're talking about? This one here? Or the 2 yellow cards?
Yeah, 2 yellow cards and just one red.
Okay. Let's have a look. Music. Okay, let me go to the start. Dude didn't even touch him. Check this out. Look, it makes you hold on. Let me do a really slow play. Right, playback speed. Wait, hold on. Minus, right? Minus 25. So watch this. This is what I like about technology now, right? You can catch out the cheats. Yeah, go to the screen. Didn't even touch him. Yep. He was lifting his leg, and that's how he got hit. So it had nothing to do with the dude. I didn't mean to. Dude. Wait, was he playing for Switzerland?
Sorry? Oh, yeah, no, Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland.
Yeah,
Switzerland, not Egypt.
Yeah,
I forgot one match.
I saw the cross. I'm like, hey, that's Switzerland.
Yeah, that just before that, for example, the Egyptian, the match with Egypt was a bit of controversial because the instructor, the DT from the Egyptian team, he made the racism mark. You know when you make you cross your arms in front of your head. Maybe I don't know which protocol they use, but he made the sign that he was receiving receiving racist comments by the Argentinian team when Argentina turned around the match. So it was a bit of controversial. He wanted to suspend the match because he said, "Oh, Argentina is being racist. The referee is being racist to me and my team. So I want the match to be suspended."
Yeah. Yeah, it's like always playing the victim, right? And yet then they jump around and fake everything. It's just, that's like, I mean, I think they've done a lot of all these fake, not fake, these highly paid professional players, soccer players have really brought the reputation of soccer down to where people, unless you're part, it's your country and you're a huge soccer fan, you actually go watch them. I'm quite surprised that this year that there was so many people traveled to America to take part in the FIFA Cup, right? Because I wouldn't have thought that people would be so supportive of FIFA after all the things, historically that FIFA's done around the world with countries. Have you seen the one like in Brazil when they had Brazil? They built that whole place and it's like just sits there now doing nothing. I think it was like the Brazil soccer. Is it soccer stadium? Right, that's what they call it, stadium. It's like because it's just it's empty now, but like they spent so much money on it. Yeah, so I think this is the one they're talking about. Where is it?
Yeah, because I think they made some stadiums. I think for the 2010 South Africa World Cup, they made the same. They made they built a stadium and they let it rot after that.
Yeah, because it's only built just for friggin' that thing, right? And it's like, wait,
yeah.
So here's something I saw a while back, right? This is like it cost them $300 million, right? And it's empty. It's quite sad because I mean, like once you build these things, well, unless you have another Soccer World Cup, you're not going to be able to finance it, And I think this is what really it feels like a monopoly and kind of like a mob thing with FIFA being able to control, But like 300 million, but how many people actually travel to Brazil to watch the soccer tournament, right? Because at the end of the day, people don't feel safe in Brazil, right? But they feel okay, moderately safe in America. So, so this is, video asking what's the question, the question, what has happened to the $300 million, stadium now? So this will be the same. I'm like wondering what's the situation with, when you look at these other stadiums around the world that are, they're built specifically just for these sort of like events. So, because it's really costly to friggin' build these things, man. Like, I mean, like $300 million. It's like building, putting out a blockbuster movie and all you get is like $100 million back. Now, today marks the 7-year anniversary of a tragic animation, historic, tragedy in the history of animation, right? Japanese animation. So I saw this come across on my Twitter here, and it was sad because I remember like when this happened. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but like Tokyo Animation, there's an incident with Tokyo Animation, which made one of my favorite animations of all time, which is Automaton, I think is let me find it. It's gosh,
It was the case that they ignited fire inside the animation studio. It was that guy that was pissed off with the animation studio and burned it down.
Yeah, it was let me find the right correct thing. It was an arson attack on them, and it was really tragic. It was one of the most popular and upcoming. Let me get off the Twitter and get you this video shot. So Tokyo Kayo NA is what like short for, right? And so 33 people died, and many more were injured, right? Due to arson attack. This guy basically walked in with, if I remember right, petrol, right? Gas, tanks of gas, and just set it on fire with people inside it. And it's been 7 years. Remember right? It's been 7 years. Just feels like so long ago, but it's only been 7 years. So this is the news from Guardian about that. The thing was that this was one of the fastest and most, one of the most popular growing anime studios. It was like, really, really like they were just putting out like the best things that was possible. They were, award winning. And, much loved in the community, right? In the anime community. It was just quality work. So many great animations. I gotta finish watching that series. Hiromi. Yeah, so it's been 7 years. Now there's another little. Oh, that's done it. That's the one I was going to look at. So go to the start here. Gives you a rundown of that.
It was an attack so strangely motivated, yet so vicious, that it confused and shocked a nation to its very core. My name's Adrian, and welcome back to Coffee House Crime. Today we're looking at the Kyoto Animation Studio Massacre of 2019, a scar that runs so deep into Japan's profile that it's considered one of the deadliest attacks since World War II. If you're new to the channel, I post both solved and unsolved cases here on a weekly basis, all while serving you as much coffee as you can handle. So if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to Coffee House Crime. So pull up a chair, grab a coffee and sit back. This is the case of the Kyoto Animation Studio Massacre. Japan. The national crime rate here is distinctively low when in comparison to other countries, particularly when looking at assault or homicide. According to a survey in 2016, Japan boasts the lowest murder rate in the world, with a score of only 0.3 people per 100,000. Saying that, when a murder is present in Japan, it's almost always reported as distinctively fierce. We're in Kyoto for today's case, the old capital of Japan. And although Tokyo is now claimed as spots the capital to the country, Kyoto is still considered to be Japan's city of culture. It is home to thousands of Buddhist temples, Shinto shrines, palaces, and gardens, a place that could keep any tourist mesmerized for months. Stepping back from its traditional values and attractions, though, Kyoto is also advanced into the modern world. It's not just a city defined by its history. With vibrant skylines, modern architecture, and supreme infrastructure, Kyoto has a bit of everything. Something that many companies and corporations would look for when settling an office. And one of those companies was Kyoto Animation. Originally founded in 1981 by Hideaki Hata and his wife Yoko, Kyoto Animation has thrived from humble beginnings as a small production services company into one of Japan's most successful studios. Over the years, Kyoto Animation became recognized for its high production values and its sensitivity to the wonders and quandaries of ordinary life. Unlike most studios, they also paid their employees in salary, rather than freelance contract. They would also train their employees in-house, thus encouraging them to focus on quality rather than quota. Kyoto Animation grew as a company over the decades, eventually moving from its head office in Uji City to Fushimi-ku in Kyoto, their new site affectionately named.
Tomas, when you went to Japan for your return trip home, before your return trip home, did you visit any animation studios or manga studios or museums like that?
I went to the animation museum in Tokyo. It was really small, but I saw a lot of the tables. For example, there was the table of the main animator of Gundam Z.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like a recreation of the table he used to work. Also, well, they were a lot of sketches and draft made on the walls by the original animators and manga artists. And also, I went there. It wasn't like an animation studio, but I went to the Gundam exhibition, and there were all the original frames, storyboards, and manga pages for the main author of Gundam, and also what it was called by the anime movie Arson, and also the Venus War series, and there was all the keyframes draw hand by hand, one behind the other, the character design and everything.
It's awesome, man. And that's the thing, like back then they used to like draw everything with like a hand, right? Now it's more digitized.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about Kyoto, Kaio Animation was that, like they said, they did it in-house. They taught their they were employees. They're not freelance artists. So they were like treating them like part of the family. And I mean, the thing is that like Kaio was like built by husband and wife team, and so being, they had a bit more like a family structure to it, which is why, they were able to do such amazing work and their work was like, for me, I felt like, I can't remember the name of the, because it's about like, gosh, do you know the name of the animation, Tomas, where like it's about a robot and it's after the war and she's writing letters now? Like they actually basically, all they do is they like write letters and they take it to them.
Violet Evergarden, I think.
Yes, Violet Evergarden was like, it was one of the greatest, like it was becoming like one of the top notch. Like everybody now talks about like Freiren, right? Violet Evergarden was Freiren of that time. And gosh, it was like the top tier, right? Top tier animation. Everybody, and I'll go back to the doco in a minute, but Evergarden was like, God, it was like my favorite one that came out that year. And, you know, I gave it a 10 out of 10. So you can see, like, you know, it was just, and there's a movie as well. And Kaio was known like for like really, really creating these beautiful, thought-provoking, you know, art and stories. So I'm just going to play those as a break between the documentary here, but this is like their biggest one, right?
その少女の存在は密かに隠されていた。だがその少女を知る者は彼女を武器だと言った。心を持たないただの道具だと。バイオレット・エヴァーガーデン、君はまだ役に立つ。働ける。ここでな。
郵便物を開けるのは難しいか。自動式人形サービスのご利用、誠にありがとうございました。
バイオレットちゃん、もう戦争は終わったんだ。
私は少佐の道具です。ですが、不要になったのなら、処分されるべきです。捨ててください。
バイオレット、君は生きて自由になりなさい。
ギルベルト少佐は生きていらっしゃるのですか？
これから君はたくさんのことを学ぶよ。だけど学ばない方が、知らない方が楽に生きられるかもしれない。
It won so many awards, if I remember right, because it was like, like everybody, you know, like I said, everybody talks about Freiren, right? After Journey or something like that. Can't remember it, and it's one of my favorites as well. But this, it's like, well, the story here is right in the aftermath of a great war. Violet Evergarden, a young female ex-soldier, gets a job at a writer's agency and goes on assignments to create letters that can connect people. It's such a, it gives you it kind of like the story kind of connects you with like behind the scenes of war, right? How people dealing with it, families and stuff. I was just looking at who's the writer. So Kane Akatsuki is, you know, light novel series, composite, and so on, creator there. But let me get the full on, and like that was like the biggest, you know, it's like it's a slice of life romantic drama action, you know, thriller type thing, and it was like at that point in 2018 it was one of the biggest you know, anime come out, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't action packed. It wasn't like, you know, Ghost. It wasn't like isekai or anything like that. It was just, you know, just about people dealing with the aftermath of war. So the 13 episodes, and then there was a movie in 2018, you know, 2019, but of course that was a year after. That was at work. There was two movies planned, so we've got two movies out. But like, getting back to the documentary, right? And basically, he sought revenge on a studio with murder, right? So 36 people had to pay for it, and another 33 were injured due to the attack. The guy's name was Shinji Aoba, right?
Moving from its head office in Uji City to Fushimi-ku in Kyoto, their new site affectionately named Studio One. They would go on to create popular anime titles such as Clannad, K-On!, and A Silent Voice. By the year of 2019, Kyoto Animation was thriving. They were well known not just for their products, but for their business practice too. But as with all types of fame, all that positive attention will come with a slice of negativity too. I mean, sure, some would simply just find Kyoto Animation's work boring. Some would even find a way to dislike their business model. But what I'm talking about is a very small minority. The type that would find personal hatred out of nothing. And one of those individuals would go by the name of Shinji Aoba. In 2019, Shinji Aoba was a 40-year-old man who lived in Saitama. He was born on the 16th of May 1978. He grew up in Midoriku, a ward in Saitama City. When he was a child though, his parents would divorce, and this would leave him with his father, brother and sister. Shinji lived a troubled life into adulthood. His classmates would describe him as absent and often irate. After he graduated, he became a part-time clerk at a convenience store. After that though, at the age of 34, Shinji would run into trouble with the law. It was June 2012, and he robbed a convenience store with a knife. He would gain 20,000 yen, or $200 from it, but he would eventually get caught. Police sentenced Shinji to 3.5 years in prison. At his trial, he would tell prosecutors that he was sick of living in a society. He was eventually released in 2016, where he moved back into an apartment in Saitama City. Back in Kyoto...
Just a bit of a segue. Only recently, right, there was a planned attack, and I just watched this in the news. It was like in Japan, where 59 or 58-year-old was going to do the same thing. Stabbing. I think it was like he planned to go into the city, and but he was telling us, he told his friend that he was going to go in and do that, but I think it was this week or last week. Yeah, so 3 days ago. So there was a plan that was thwarted where this guy was just going to go into and start stabbing people, right? So there is this one here.
This man, a 53-year-old suspect, Mori Katsumi, was arrested on suspicion of preparing to carry out a mass killing. Investigators believe he was inspired by the 2008 Akihabara mass stabbing attack. Police say he told an acquaintance about his plans, and the arrest was made after information was provided to the Toyama Prefectural Police.
生活が苦しいとか、イライラしてるとか、そういうなんか自分の身の上の情報が来て。
A man provided information to Toyama Prefectural Police.
覚悟を決めて東京に行くとか、あとはもう秋葉原事件のように7人以上の命を奪って歴史に名を残したいとか。
By the way, Akihabara is one of the most populated cities in Tokyo. Like, this dude was going to go into. Let me show you what Akihabara is. I know Akihabara because I've used it.
Full murder style.
Pardon?
It's like a full murder style, like maybe like Guns. If you read the.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't know.
They had one previously a while back.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened. It's like there are a lot of mangas that they express these kind of situations with mass murders and killers and everything. And you say sometimes reality is more next to fiction than what you think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, because like normal people in don't have guns in Japan, they stab people, right? They use every other means to do it. One thing I really abhor is the whole attacking society for your own problems that you want to blame everybody else. It comes from a victim mentality, right? Where like, it's not my fault, it's everybody else's fault. My life is this way. And okay, to a certain degree, it could be, right? There could be where you've been like, but that doesn't mean you just go haphazardly go and just hurt other people, right? And this happens a lot, and it's a daily occurrence in China right now, right? Where they attack children, they attack elderly, just random attacks, right? And it's one of the things I really despise is people who like just, start attacking normal people and just taking, causing just like random people, bro. That's got nothing to do with you, that you've never, that's just, like, why hurt other people? Just if you get to that point, just take yourself out, right? I think that's what
Go to therapy, do something else. Walk on the grass, do some sports, take some steam out. It's like, for example, is when you have a boss and your boss is like a piece of crap with you, and you ask him why you're like this. Oh, because my former boss was like that with me, and because I suffer, you have to suffer. And you say that I didn't do anything to you. So it's of course it's not the same thing as hurting somebody, but the mentality of doing any kind of damage to somebody that it's completely innocent is like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like sometimes people just want to hurt others because they've been hurt rather than deal with their hurt, right? And it's just so this is Shibuya, right? Let me just show you how busy it is in Akihabara, right? And this dude wanted to go out and start attacking people. Imagine how many people could be hurt, right? Because it's so many people there. And we're seeing a lot more of this now, which is kind of really sad, where random attacks. And you drop and a crazy person gets off the bus with, with knives, whatever, and randomly, his whole point is to randomly attack people because his own life is a piece of shit, right? And so he's angry at everybody, but not at himself for not sorting his life out. But like now he's going to go and attack everybody, and it's just such a foul human thing it is to be able to get to a stage, and that's what I'm saying. Like this was, this dude was caught because he had told his friend, right, that he's going to go into go into Tokyo in July and start doing this stuff. But his friend quickly, got in touch with the police, the local police, said, hey, this is what's my friend's planning, and they started enacting on it, and they were able to, let me show you what he had in his bag, right? So what he was planning.
そこで感情を僕が持ったんで。
According to police, Mori had been planning to carry out a random mass killing in Tokyo and was already preparing. When officers visited Mori's home, they found a knife inside a backpack. Police also believe he was planning to travel to Tokyo by highway bus and had a one-way ticket.
生活が苦しいとか、イライラしてるとか、そういうなんか自分の身の上の情報が来て、来週の頭に東京に行こうと思うんですっていう書き方してたから、じゃあ来るんだったら飯でも食いながら話しますかって返事をかけて、でやり取りをしていたところ、こちらをいろいろもう片して、片道切符でなんか踏ん切りつけるために片道切符だけでそっちに行こうと思ってますみたいな書き込みがあったんで、14日の朝に来るって本人が言ってて、前の日の13の深夜の夜行バスで富山から新宿に来るって言ってメールが来ましたとか、もう本当に1日2日で動かないと本当に決行するつもりだったら、14日の朝にもう到着してたはずなんで、
So this was a
何
month
が何で
ago.
も止めなきゃなって思いがあったし。
Neighbor who knew Mori says,
He was mild-mannered, kept himself, right? The usual suspect. But yeah, so that's the latest. That was just last month. They were able to stop him, right? Stop a mass murder happening, mass disturbing. Now, back to the Kyoto animation incident.
Kyoto Animation was growing from strength to strength through the years. And since 2009, Kyoto Animation had been hosting an annual competition called the Kyoto Animation Awards. They would host this competition to connect with their audience and offer exposure to talented writers, where contestants could submit their stories to Kyoto Animation for review. The selected winning stories to this competition would be published under the company's imprint, and, if they're lucky, would later have a chance to be adapted into an anime. The award itself is prestigious, and with 1 million yen or $10,000 up for grabs, it's fiercely competitive too. And this is where Kyoto Animation and Shinji Aoba first crossed paths. Because between the years of 2017 and 2018, Shinji would submit a story to Kyoto Animation twice. Anime is very commonly watched in Japan, so much that it's predicted that about 35% of its population watches it more than once a week. And for Shinji, he was very heavily in that category. Being a stay-at-home kind of guy, he would heavily absorb himself into anime and gaming pretty much every day of the year. His submissions to Kyoto Animation would not go very far though. Unfortunately, they were formally eliminated by judges in the first round. The numerous rejections disappointed Shinji. They angered him, in fact. But the grudge against Kyoto Animation would only start here. And Shinji's troubled mind would only grow worse too. Since his release from prison, Shinji was growing further isolated from friends and family. In fact, he almost had none. In 1999, his father committed suicide, and since then, he'd cut all contact with his brother and sister too. It was clear that by 2018, Shinji seemed resentful to the world, antisocial. With no family or friends to love, he became bitter. And with the only interactions with people around him being his neighbors, they were becoming violent too. In late
So one of the things, like, it's quite sad, like his dad, right? That doesn't say what was the reason for his father's suicide, but that is like that pattern mentally that can destroy you, right? Your male, I guess, what would you call that? Your male mentor, maybe, whatever, isn't able to cope with the world, and now he's taking himself out. One of the things we notice a lot in Japanese culture is there's like, and not just Japanese culture, right? But it's kind of like predominant in Japanese culture. I don't know why so to that huge amount that like actual, parents end up Minecrafting themselves, right? Suicide. And you see, like, there's a lot of, like, as Thomas mentioned, that some of the stuff that you read in the manga or on the animations you watch, it does sort of show you some of that stuff, for these as backgrounds to these kids, and the characters and stuff in the animations and in the manga and light novels and such. But to see it actually play out in real in this situation here, where it's actually, goes on to being a murder, where one of the studios that actually, creates the art form actually has 39, was it 39, 36? I think it was 36. Sorry.
2018.
Hold on, buddy. I think it was 36. Yeah, 36 deaths, right? Result in 36 deaths. It's got, like, as Thomas mentioned, it's like it's like art. It's art portraying real life. Usually, with art, it's fiction, right? You make up stuff, but like here, you see, like, the father's committed suicide, the son's been in prison, stole $200 worth of stuff, and now it's come out there's nobody around him, and he's real bitter of the world. But rather than figuring out how to fix that on himself, he goes, "Oh yeah, everybody else is to blame."
After his stories had already been rejected by Kyoto Animation, Shinji was an unstable man. But there would be one new detail to his life which would set him down his darkest path. He was in his home one evening watching more anime, and the anime, it was made by Kyoto Animation. In his deluded and isolated mindset, though, he made a connection. The connection was that actually what he had just been watching, it seemed way too familiar. In fact, it was his story, the story he submitted in the contest last year. Kyoto Animation, they'd stolen from him. This outraged Shinji, and Kyoto Animation, they were going to hear about it. Around the same time in October, staff would wake up one morning to over 200 death threats via email, all sent to various employees across the business, the sender using anonymized software to withhold their identity. The police were contacted, but since these emails were fired out using Tor, it was impossible to find out who the sender was. Maybe we can take a guess, though. Instead, police patrols were temporarily deployed around the building, and while the death threats stopped, vengeance would soon be made in a much more sinister way the following year. Sunday the 14th of July, 2019. 9 months had passed, but Shinji's life, it was still the same. It was the weekend, and Matsumoto, a 27-year-old quality control engineer, was enjoying his weekend on the couch. Matsumoto, or Matsu, and Shinji were neighbours, and unfortunately for the two of them, another neighbour upstairs was assembling furniture. Shinji, though, he thought it was Matsu. The two often complained at each other over noise. Usually, though, Shinji was the loud one. Shinji started to bang on the shared wall between his and Matsu's apartments. Matsu, being the courteous guy, walked up to Shinji's front door to tell him that the noise, it wasn't him. Shinji opened his front door and he grabbed Matsu by the collar of his shirt before shouting at him,
"You're too loud. Shut up. I'm going to kill you. I have nothing to lose."
Shinji would eventually let go of Matsu, and Matsu, who was too scared to stay at home, walked down to the police station to report the assault. By the time police would get to Shinji's house, though, to confront him, he was gone. And where he'd gone to was anyone's guess. By the next day, Shinji had taken the Shinkansen bullet train to Tokyo and checked in at a local downtown hotel. And the next morning, on July the 16th, Shinji travelled to Kyoto. CCTV cameras captured him at various points along the way. One at an internet cafe south of Kyoto Station. That night, he stayed in another nearby hotel. On Wednesday the 17th of July, still wearing the same jeans and red t-shirt that he'd worn for the last 3 days, Shinji walked into a hardware store and bought himself a metal trolley. He then wheeled the trolley 6 miles north. before stopping at an INEOS gas station to purchase 10 gallons of gasoline. Shinji then travelled with his trolley full of gasoline along Uji River towards Kyoto Animation's studio. He would stop at the night for a hotel, and the plans he had in store for tomorrow would be nothing short of evil. On Thursday, the 18th of July 2019, Shinji arrived at Kyoto Animation Studio with the cart full of gasoline. The time was 10:31 a.m. and some 70 employees were inside, working away. That is when Shinji pushed through the building's front doors. He toppled over one of the buckets of the gasoline. He then flicked a lighter and screamed,
"You will die."
Within 10 seconds of ignition, the bucket of gasoline had exploded, setting the building's first floor entirely alight. And within another 10 seconds, the second floor was fully ablaze too. Windows on the third floor were destroyed within 1 minute of the blast, black smoke bellowing out from every open hole that it could find. Shinji Aoba was still alive, but considering he set the canister alight and that exploded less than 10 seconds later, he was on fire. He ran out of the building before collapsing in a street nearby. Passers-by, unaware of who the monster was, quickly treated Shinji for his injuries. He would very quickly regain consciousness. As soon as he did, he clambered to his feet and tried to run away. However, 2 people from Kyoto Animation recognized him. They chased after him and then barraged him to the ground. That is when police intervened and they caught up with him. When they found out who he was and they asked him why he did it, Shinji shouted,
"They plagiarized my work. I demand to speak to the company president."
Firefighters were quick to the scene, but the fate of half of the people inside had already been determined. The fire would continue to burn without mercy for 5 long hours. Rescue workers would eventually find the bodies of 33 employees later that evening. 3 on the first floor, 11 on the second floor, and 19 on the spiral staircase to the roof, of which the door had failed to open from inside. The staircase acting as a giant funnel to fuel the fire. Dozens more that were in the building at the time of the attack would be treated for their injuries, but unfortunately over the following weeks, 3 more would die to their wounds, bringing the total death toll to 36. Japan was in total shock after the attack. As news of the fire became more obviously evil, the nation, the world, and the anime community all looked on in anger and despair. Shinji Aoba would become the assailant to one of the nation's largest acts of mass murder since the end of World War II. As firefighters tended to Shinji on the streets, police would discover that he actually had a plan B. They found 6 unused knives, probably to be used if his arsonist plan failed to work. And despite the several witnesses putting Shinji as the main suspect, the 6 unused knives found on his persona, and soon CCTV footage showing him at various locations with a cart full of gasoline, Kyoto police were not able to formally arrest the man. He had suffered severe burns across his entire body, injuring himself so badly that he was unconscious. And although police had a warrant for his arrest, they were unable to formally do that until medical examinations certified that he would be fit to survive in a detention facility. Shinji was actually given a 1% chance to live, and as the days turned into weeks, he was still unconscious after the attack. And miraculously, or unfortunately, depending which way you look at it, Shinji would survive his injuries. In September 2019, doctors would certify that he was no longer in a life-threatening condition. There was a lack of human skin available for grafting though, as organ donation is rare in Japan. So officials made the right decision to give the victims priority to receive donor skin before Shinji. And that donor would never arrive, as Shinji became the first person in Japan to get a fully artificial skin graft. Police would eventually be able to start questioning Shinji in September 2019, and it was then that he confirmed again that yes, he was the arsonist to the attack. He would then go on to say,
"I had a grudge against Kyoto Animation. I thought that if I sprayed gasoline around the building while setting the fire, I could kill more people. So that's why I did that."
It was in May 2020 that Shinji was declared fit enough for arrest 10 months after the attack. By this time though, the world had started spiraling into a pandemic. The story of Shinji Aoba would slowly trundle on, but without the international attention it once received. He was formally arrested on the 27th of May 2020, and by December 2020 he was formally charged too. The 42-year-old undeniably guilty of his crimes. He would confirm the reason for his rage is that he felt Kyoto Animation had stolen one of his ideas, and they'd used it in one of their anime without crediting or compensating him. He said,
"The thing Kyoto Animation copied from me was the scene in Tsurune, where the main characters buy discounted meat."
According to reports, the scene is vastly generic, and Kyoto Animation, they deny plagiarizing anything from the man. The days following the studio massacre, Kyoto Animation initially stated that they were not aware of any contest entries by Shinji, but during a more thorough examination, they discovered that he had indeed submitted his own novel. This would again highlight, though, that his novel had been rejected in the first round of judgments and scrapped from the company's awareness. A year and a half after the attack, a 6-month psychological evaluation on Shinji's mental health had ended, and the conclusion was that yes, Shinji, he knew what he was doing when he lit the fire. He was mentally coherent. This paves the way for Shinji to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and with Japan accepting the death penalty in certain circumstances, and this being one of the worst mass murders in over 70 years' time, it's not looking very good for Shinji. Kyoto Animation also shared that they expect Shinji to be prosecuted to the maximum extent under Japanese law. And this is where we are today in the case of Shinji Aoba, because although he has been charged and he is in prison, he has not yet been sentenced. His trial is expected to happen later this year, at the end of 2021, maybe into 2022. Following the tragic loss of life, the world reached out to Kyoto Animation. The company set up a donations account to provide financial relief to the surviving victims and to the families of those that were lost. The bank account would reach over 3 billion yen, or $30 million, and all of this would eventually find its way to the intended people. A separate GoFundMe was also raised by fans to help bring Kyoto Animation and its studio back to life, and in December 2019, over $2.3 million would reach Kyoto Animation to rebuild itself. Productions by the company did obviously become postponed or cancelled, but now most of them are resuming and back to work. The site in which Shinji left his ugly scar in the world has since been demolished. Tokyo Animation's president, Hideaki Hata, stated that he was considering replacing the building with a green public park and memorial, but this is yet to be decided. Most of the remaining survivors to the attack stayed on in the company too, refusing to resign. For most of them, they recognized the harsh reality was not reflective to the company. And for some, the only way they could feel close to the colleagues that they had lost was to carry on in their wake. The nation has also started to take precautions in the sale of gasoline, restricting how much people can buy at any one time. And since 2019, fire safety precautions on buildings have also been improved too. And although we don't yet know what will happen to Shinji, we do know that he did not stop Kyoto Animation. Sure, the studio remains injured, but it aspires to come back stronger from the event, and eventually be a place where the victims can be honoured and remembered. And that's where we are today. So, yeah.
I just want to show you guys, excuse me. So that was 7 years ago. This, I think it was today or this week. Because I remember it happening. It was really sad, right? So this went out. Then it was Sentai had Filmworks put out this GoFundMe. On 7th of December that year, right? And it raised $2.367 million of USD of a goal of 750. And so it's like, you know, it's been paused, but like this. But it was, I think gosh, I can't remember if I donated as well, but I think I did. It's it's been 7 years, so I can't remember, but I remember I donated to it as well because it's like I just come back into pop culture from like a 2-year sabbatical from internet and everything. And so Violet Evergarden was like very important to me at the time because I thought it was a really amazing animation, and that's how I knew Kyoto from. I mean, I didn't when I actually, to be honest, when I look at a series, I don't go finding out who's the studio, but I do go and find out who's the writer because I find that I need to know who the creator is, and and read if they have more work. I like to look into that because I'm just like someone who likes to make sure if I like somebody, I like to read more of their work. All right, that's just the way I am. I'm not sure if everybody's like that, but if you become a fan of somebody's work, you do that. So there was other news items put out, like there's this one here, Independent, in July. So the initial was raised just in a few hours, right? Because everybody around the world was like really heartbroken over this because this was like one of the biggest news in animation at the time, to see 33 creators, animators, writers lose their lives, and about 36, and about 33 seriously injured. And like as I said, like it was like a huge thing for Japan, like and nothing like that had happened. I mean, like a mass event like that had not happened in 77 years since the Second World War. So it was covered, like it was international news at that time. Let me see. So this was, this is the most recent. Okay, so let's have a look at this. This is the most recent. It's put out by Japan News. This is only 20 hours ago. Where are we? I think I need to do the hour thing. There we go. 20 hours ago. Got to come up. Doesn't want to open up. Hold on. So let's see if I can do it that way and do that. Okay, let's move from there. Here we go. So July 18th, right? So today in New Zealand is the July 19th. Today in Japan is when it happened, right? So there's a memorial at the site. So 36 people died and injured 32. About 140 people, including victims' family members, employees of the company, gathered to remember those who lost their lives in the 2019 attack. The memorial service was held privately inside a tent set up at the site where the company's number one studio formerly stood, according to Kyoto Animation, also known as Kaio Annie. The ceremony began at around 10:30 a.m., the time the incident occurred, with a moment of silence by attendees. Hideaki Hata, who was president at the time of the incident and worked tirelessly to rebuild the company, died in February. His eldest son, Shinichiro Hata, succeeded him as president. We will not only pass on what happened in this incident, but also treasure and carry forward the works, thoughts, and commitment to creation left behind by those who lost their lives, the president said in a statement. Shinichiro Hata. Shinji Aoba, convicted of murder and other charges over the incident attack, was sentenced to death by Kyoto District Court in January 2024. The now 48-year-old inmate withdrew his appeal to Osaka High Court, thereby making the death sentence final. Defense attorneys filed a motion challenging the validity of the withdrawal, but the High Court ruled in March that it was valid. Defense has filed an obligation to the ruling, so he is going to face the death penalty. Just wondering why it hasn't. I wonder if it has been carried out. Right. Let me just do a check here. Let's just go up here. What would you say that is? Given the death penalty for the Kyoto let me see if I can spell it right. Because I'm not sure. Like they're saying he's got the death penalty, but it isn't saying that he's been given it since 2024. So right, so it goes, yeah, has been sentenced to death. Right, he was found guilty of murder and arson. Sentenced in 2024, January 25th. As of now, he remains on death row while appeals are processed. So he hasn't been, he's still alive, right? But yeah,
the slow process of bureaucracy.
Yeah, basically, right. Yeah, it's kind of like man, like, and here's the thing, right? Like, as I mentioned, like Kyoto Animation was one of like the better animation studios, right? You hear about all these animation studios that overwork their people, but at Kyoto, right, they weren't they were like a difference maker when it came to the studio, because they treated their animators like employees and not freelancers, because a lot of people freelance it, right? A lot of studios just hire you on, and this is what this is a freelance job, and then you go on to the next one. It's like here they're like they taught them how to create, how to be better, and so and because they're employees, they're part of the company. They weren't just going to do the job and move on to the next one, which a lot of animation studios do and have been known for, like basic major overtime and just crazy, like a lot of them just exhaustion because they've got like deadlines and stuff. But if I remember right, he said that like early on here that this is one of the better studios, and everybody loved it because of that.
Yeah, because they work with love and not just doing the work for a deadline.
Yeah, and then you can see that in the quality of work they produce, right? It like the emotion, man. Violet Evergarden like still is one of my favorite animations and stories, whatever, because it's like Freyren. Like if you look at Freyren and Evergarden is like one of the two of the best I guess like slow burn, impactful, dramatic stories right now, because they're done with the way they're written is just so friggin' with so much care, and you can see that in the way that because just in this slow sort of like let me just get off there for a minute and I'll show you what I mean by Freyren, right? Because both of these stories kind of like go in hand in the way they're told. It's after the event, right? Like with Violet Evergarden, it's after the war, with Freyren, it's after the death of the hero, right? And it's just so I mean, it's not something like, for me, I like these soft burn stories as much as I like the hardcore, horror, supernatural, action filled stories. Sometimes like stories like these, like have a bit more emotional touch to them, right? And kind of like a heart, grabs your heart. And I think emotionally, that is. And then same thing with Violet Evergarden. The stories are told in a more slow burn way where you can actually grow to, love the characters a bit more. The stories allowing the characters to develop more because they're not rushing it, right? It's not just a 90-minute animated movie or such. It's actually told over a long period of time. And so there's characters able to develop. You're able to understand the characters more and what's their, who they are. And that's why I think, for me, I thought that's why both Freyren and Violet Evergarden are two of my favorite animations of all time, and both of them have like female leads, right? So it's kind of, as much as I like, male leads, sometimes having female leads can actually bring you, can bring a story so much more depth. And I think that's why a lot of people, males do write a lot with female characters. So I think when people say, oh, only females should write female characters, yeah, it's a fiction, right? Anybody can write anything. Just because, if you're not male, then you can only write male, or if you're female, then you can only write female. That's just stupid thinking. And so getting back to, let me just bring up the post on X, and then we'll go back on to talking about our female-led characters, right, that I've written. 2 comic books that we've just released this week, right? We launched this week. So here on Anime Trends put out, and this is how we started looking at this, because I saw this post come out and I was sharing it, because it was really, I mean, it's been 7 years, but man, you don't forget this incident because it's such a huge, tragedy to the animation, but also to lives lost, to, and the families or, of those who were hurt and, who lost their family members, So yeah, you can read more about it. I'll put the link there on there, but yeah, that's basically, yeah, I didn't even realize it had been 7 years. So Matthew Draw says, what happened to Kyoto Animation is and always will be a tragedy, which I hope never repeats itself. However, it draws a smile on my face to recall that the person responsible was sentenced to death. However, he's still sitting. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same, right? When are they going to hang Shinji Oba? It's already been 2 years. They imposed death penalty on him. That was a case where a guy went to set people or set on fire, right? In the end, did they find out? Well, we just said that, found out, right? People are asking, the question is, why did the authorities take so long to sentence him to death? Were there so many doubts about whether he had done it? There's the thing about like Japanese law is that they have to be 100% sure, right? And they've got rules and regulations. And sometimes, it's like pulling teeth, but, at the end of the day, they want to make sure when they do it, it's not like, oh, it's not guesswork, right? Eli Civic writes, I hope they can recover even better. I miss it when they used to put out the Kyoto Animation Awards for light novels. The K.A. Isuma Banko gave us pieces of serious like the Violet Evergarden or free. Wait, free? I haven't heard of that. Let me just look it up. Okay.
I think
so
free is the one with the swim guys, I think.
Yeah, it says here it's four guys. Let me just bring this up. It's it's a water sports hand-drawn animation. 4 high school students, Haruko, Makoto, Nagisa, and Rin, all took part in a swimming tournament shortly before the end of high school, and then lost touch with each other. Years later, they reunite. So it's basically
the fun story about that anime is those characters were made for a drinking for a drink. They were only draw for TV spot to promote it. For example, like Coca-Cola, I don't know, a Japanese drink, and everybody went so freaking like blown away by the animation and the characters that they asked for an animated series of those characters.
Right.
That was freaking crazy.
So it's like, yeah, so it's like a fan, like a fan-driven animation. It reminds me of
because they.
Carry on.
Sorry. No, you continue.
Yeah, it reminds me of what happened with Gwenpool, right? Gwenpool, the Marvel character, was done as a variant cover art for a Deadpool cover. And then the fans said, "Oh, that character looks so cool. What's the story behind it?" And then they started writing it, right? And then you got a Gwenpool series where she's like from our world, and she's been pulled into the world of 616 Marvel, and now she exists in that world as a superhero and knows everybody else's name, everybody, and so she knows everybody else's background and who they are in reality. Like she knows that it's Peter Parker, right? Who's Spider-Man, and so on. Now I can't see why. I'm trying to put up a trailer for the anime for free, but I'm not seeing it here. Oh, here we go. So yeah, you're saying the drink, right? This is some sort of drink.
Yeah, trying to find the TV spot, I think.
Okay, let's have a look. TV spot, you said. Okay. All right, so this is it here. Supposedly, we'll see. It's the same thing. Is that free starting days? Wait, no, that's not it. Is that high speed? Yeah, high speed X. It is this, right? Oh no, here it is. Here we go. So this is another Kyoto animation series. So this is 2013. This one, I wasn't into like anime that heavy back then. I think it was by 2014 when I started really getting into it. I mean, I'd watched anime since like 26 years now, or even longer. But like, I don't really like. This is sort of like not the themes that I kind of like. I like a bit of adventure and sci-fi and stuff themed.
I think it's more aimed to female spectators because the characters are a bit more like they are so really soft. So, and some people say it's a bit of how you call it? It's yaoi. I think it's
it's more leaning towards female audience.
Yeah, exactly. Because they tend to put like maybe some male romance. It's not like an explicit romance, but it leaves the way to expectations, and everybody talks about everything. So I remember watching that anime with a lot of friends, and one of my friends says, "Yes, those two are really gay. Yeah, those two are really really gay." And yeah, it was like I think we reached to 4 episodes, and we let it there, and but it was a really good animation.
And it's hand drawn as well, right?
Yeah, because I think it's from 2012. No, 2013. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, so 13. Yeah, for 5 years, 42 episodes. So it's, you know, I think they finished that and then they did Freiren. Started working on that. So let me tell you why. Yeah, once again, why Kyoto was such a, you know, so loved, right?
And one of those companies was Kyoto Animation. Originally founded in 1981 by Hideaki Hatta and his wife Yoko, Kyoto Animation has thrived from humble beginnings as a small production services company into one of Japan's most successful studios. Over the years, Kyoto Animation became recognized for its high production values and its sensitivity to the wonders and quandaries of ordinary life. Unlike most studios, they also paid their employees in salary, rather than freelance contract. They would also train their employees in-house, thus encouraging them to focus on quality, rather than quota. Kyoto Animation grew as a company over the decades, eventually moving from its head office in Uji City.
See, for me, like, for us, right, Tomas, like, I don't mind how long our projects take to, you know, to finish, as long as both you and I are happy, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to put out a project that I'm unhappy with, because, you know, and I think a lot of times people, you know, because if you're an artist, you're going to be like, you know, making sure that what people see is your best foot forward, right? And of course, over time you grow, right? You change. It might be like even a year later, you're going to get better at what you're doing. I mean, like I'm getting better at writing all the time, and you know, you're developing and stuff. But I think, you know, with working in house like we do, we're able to, you know, look at our work, go through, go, okay, maybe this needs to change or that needs to change. But you know, I think you have to also enjoy it, right? If you're not enjoying what you're working on, it'll come through and it'll feel really like you're phoning it in and stuff. And with the work we're doing, right, with this project, I mean, we let people know what's, you know, you know, on the, you know, all the time, that hey, it's out there, you can read it, you can, you know, follow it across on Webtoons. And once we get once we're ready to release issue 2, we'll be able to get issue 2 out as well slowly, because I think I'm still, you know, at the moment I'm still making sure that all the pages are working the way we want it to work. So, but you can read the comic we just launched, right? The manga we just launched right now on Webtoons. The link is in the chat. And, you know, as we continue working on issue 2, and we get issue 2 ready, we'll be putting it out on Webtoons as well. But that is until we can get issue 1 out to people, right? As a comic, you know, comic book form, Western manga. So if you're able to, you know, go check it out on Webtoons, and then, you know, decide whether you want to support us with the variant covers, with the cards, add-ons and stuff, you know, and so forth. And see for yourself, you know, the work we put into it. 100% everything is finished, right, for this project. You know, as soon as we get the money from Kickstarter, once it's funded, right? Once it's funded, we get the money from Kickstarter. I think it takes about a few weeks. Once they process it, we send the money across to the printers. They get it printed in America, then it gets sent back to our publisher, and that publisher ships it all out to the world, right? To wherever you guys are. So you can choose, let me see how I see it. Let me link out of here. and see if I can show you in a proper format.
Yeah,
rather.
and also to the audience, like we put like our love and time in this project, so, because there's something that we want to continue to do along our lives. It's not like trying to reach the golden to the how you call it, the golden goose or the goose of the golden eggs.
Yeah.
We try to bring a good story so you can read it, you can have an interaction with a world that maybe it's new to you, or maybe you are looking for something that you already know that you like, and knowing that you are dealing with people that they take care and they care of the work and giving a good work.
So you got various projects you can pick up from. I mean, tiers you can pick up from this. I don't know why this thing is not showing it the way should be able to see it. Like, what is this all about? Right? I think you have to be linked in to see all this stuff, rewards and. Let's have a look at the campaign. All right. Where's the rewards? So it's not showing. Like, I don't know. I think I have to be logged in to be able to see all this stuff. But as you can see, you got 4 covers, you got awesome art, story. You get to choose the full cover or animated cover, or manga cover, sorry. And there is a nude variant you can also check out. I really don't understand. Do you have to be logged in to be able to see it? Weird. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully you guys are able to see it better than I am right here, because the campaign is live. And the other campaign that we've got, that as I mentioned, it's about 2 females, right? The story's about 2 females. Do go check it out. First, obviously, if you want, go check it out on the Webtoons, and figure out if that's if this is a story for you. This is a mature reader comic book, right? And then the other one we've got right now, which is fully funded, right? Where's it? Campaign. Wait, that's not what we wanted. Issue 2. Where is issue 2? Here we go. Issue 2, 100% funded. So you can also check out INCREDI-GIRL, already funded, 27 days left to go, and we're 100% funded on that one. So this is an all-ages, full-color superhero comic book called INCREDI-GIRL. And number 2, I'll play this video here, and then I think that's us for today. And you guys can check it out in your own time. And thank you, Tomas, for being here with me, man. Appreciate it. Once again, talking to you.
Thank you for inviting me once more.
Yeah, and we'll catch you another time as we carry on with working on issue 2. I think we're about 7 pages into issue 2 completed so far.
6. I think 6. Yeah, I had to do the last one, the 6th one that I show you, but I didn't send you the email, I think.
Right. And then the rest of the day, I'm going to go across and carry on coloring, because at the moment I'm coloring issue 2 of our horror comic book. I was going to say Robot Nation, Templeton. So this is Templeton here.
Yeah.
It's a supernatural horror comic book with angels and demons and a clown. So I've been going through and coloring this one out here this last few weeks slowly. And of course, as I mentioned before, issue number 1 of the manga is completed for the Tortoise, and we're working on issue number 2 right now. We're going to be launching where is it here? We're going to be launching Templeton number 1 around October sometime, even though we're already illustrating issue number 3. as I mentioned, I'm color fading issue 2. Issue number 1 is all done and dusted. I think I've just got to put in a couple, got to finish some colors on the covers, and we should be done. Just waiting for this to open so I can show you guys the entire comic book here. So it's all colored. I did the color fading, and then our artist on Howler did finish the colors for us. So this book also comes with a extra 11-page story, an original story from like 2009, I think, when I first wrote it. It's in black and white, so you get the original story here called Behemoth as for free. This is just an add-on. We've got here original story artwork. So this is a 40-page comic book, which we'll be releasing in October sometime, with about 6 different covers. You can see the covers here. Is it 6 covers or 5 covers? I think it's 5 plus another on a stretch goal. Let me just bring this out here so you guys can see. So these are different covers we're going to do. I still have to finish the colors on this, which I'll be doing this week. I've done all the color flats, but I've got to finish the colors. So there you go. We've got different artists from around the world coloring it. We got Sweden, New Zealand, America, and America again. So yeah. And plus, the cover A is an interlocking cover. So every single issue, every single cover A of the 6 issues that we're releasing as part of the story will all interlock into one big 6 cover art piece that all join together. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for checking us out today. Wherever you're watching us from, if you're watching us from, from Facebook, if you're watching us from Twitter, X, thank you so much. Please pop over to, I forgot what I was grabbing. I was going to grab something. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to grab. The link to our YouTube page. If you are watching from, of course, from Twitter, this is the link there for our YouTube page. I would really appreciate it if you guys can pop over and give us a sub, like, or share, whatever. Thank you so much. And now for the trailer to INCREDI-GIRL number 2, and of course, as we end here, thank you, Tomas, and also do check out, as we just launched today, the manga. The 40-page manga with 36 pages of art, I think it is, in there. So it's like almost, twice the size of a normal comic book. Do check it out. You can check it out also, on Webtoons as well. So kakite ano, wherever you are, be well, be safe. And I forgot to change that to that. So we had a space there for no reason, for for all this time since Tim left. So thank you, guys. Kakite ano, wherever you are. Ano, I should say. Kakite ano. Be well, be safe. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And please do give us a sub. And also, INCREDI-GIRL number 2 is fully funded, but we still got 27 days to go. So if you can go out there and give it a sub, would really appreciate it. And would really, help us reach the goal, and so we can put more comics out, create more stuff, get more print comics out. And remember, everything we put out on Kickstarter, crowdfunding, it's 100% already completed before you get there. So there's no major long waits. There's no what if, are they going to run off with our money? No, there's none of that. As long as we're funded, we're going to get your, we're able to go and get it printed and sent out to you. Do go check out all the stuff there, links in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. And wherever you are, be well. Bye for now.
INCREDI-GIRL. From the earth to the sky, let's fly. From New Zealand shores, land a long white cloud. Rises a young hero, strong and proud.
Flying through the sky, young and old. Watch her fly through the air. In bright blue sky. Oh, orphan child, straight out of Romania. Rose from the pain, now she's owning the atmosphere.
INCREDI-GIRL, superhuman strength, protecting the innocent of the plunge universe from Strasnik 9 criminals.
INCREDI-GIRL, power from within, red, white, and blue, here to help me and you.
Through pain and turmoil, she rose from the ground.
INCREDI-GIRL, no better friend around.
Nano by her side, together they fight crime.
Protecting the innocent time after time. INCREDI-GIRL,
Superhuman strength, protecting the innocent of the plunge universe from Strasnik 9 criminals.
INCREDI-GIRl, power from within, red, white, and blue, here to help me and you.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.